Okay, students, I'd like to take a few minutes right now and teach you a little bit about Utah's online library for argumentative research. And so, first of all, let me just bring this up right here. In order for you to access Utah's online library at home, you'll need to use the following login name and password. The login name is online, lowercase, and password is research, as you can see. So that's how you will be able to utilize or get into Utah's online library at home. Now, let me just pull up the internet here, and we'll go to um, the Miller School District home page. And over on the left, you'll find Utah's online library, and that's where we'll go to at this point. Once you get into here, there's a place called the Gale Reference Collection, grades 9 through 12. That's where we're going to go. And then when you get to this point, we're going to go to opposing viewpoints in context, which means that there's going to be viewpoints that oppose each other in context, which means that there's going to be controversial issues that will be have opposing viewpoints. So we'll go to that, and then if you scroll down, you will notice that there are some general categories here: business and economics, energy and environmentalism, health and medicine, law and politics, national debate topic, science, technology and ethics, society and culture, war and diplomacy. Let's just go to something that seems to be in the news all the time anyway. Let's go to energy and environmentalism. So view all. So what you'll see is you'll see a pretty good list of topics right here. Let me hit the back button and go to another one, law and politics. And you'll see an even longer list of topics here, quite a long list. Okay, looks like there's just almost anything that you are interested in that you would want to write an argumentative essay about, you could find. Society and culture, again, a very, very long list of topics. That's probably the longest list so far. And some of these lists you might find in some of those other general topics, but this one right here, of course, has some really, it is a really long list. Okay, so let's just pick one topic that has some, I'm sure, has all kinds of controversy in it. Let's go with self-driving cars. Okay, so what we have here then are some featured viewpoints here and some other viewpoints here. Generally, the viewpoints on the left contradict the viewpoints on the right, and vice versa. The viewpoints on the right generally contradict the viewpoints on the left. Not always, but it seems like that's the case. And so let's just look at this first topic. Society must decide how to respond to workers displaced by, because we'll have to pull it up and see the whole thing, by technology. Okay, that might not have a, well, I guess it does have some things to do with self-driving cars. It goes into quite a bit of detail here. Drivers are vital to our transport system today. Can you imagine truck drivers not having a truck to drive, or self-driving trucks? That seems kind of scary to me, but anyway, you have pretty interesting article there. Okay, Now this first kind of starts out with a little bit of a precursor here. What happens to all those people who, through no fault of their own, find themselves unemployed with a skill set society no longer wants or needs? And then it goes into detail about that. Talks about some things to consider as you read the article. And then you read the article, see if it's something you could use. One of the things I really like about this is the source citation. Now this in many ways follows the MLA guidelines for putting it into the works cited page. Not all of this information would be used, but let's see, probably at least this much right here could be used. It's got an author, it's got a title, and then of course the other bibliographic information is there. You have to know the access date, so that's something you'd have to know as well. And then this is something that you could actually copy and paste and put right into your works cited page, as long as you have this access date. Okay, which again I think is really good. Now if you read just a little bit of this article and you find, or even just based on the title, if it doesn't look like an interesting title, don't mess with it. Just go on to another title that you think would be one that you could find some interest in. Read that article if you want to, or just read, kind of breeze through it a little bit, kind of superficially read a few things here and there. If it's something that you can use, you can read more in depth later. But right now you're just kind of looking to see if it has information that you might use for your research, for your argumentative essay. So I get the impression that the articles over on the left are articles against the use of self-driverless vehicles, and the ones on the right, like driverless cars could eliminate road rage. Driverless cars will not solve the problem of road rage. Who knows? I don't know that they all take one particular point of view, but they do have some. The thing about these articles is that it's not a black or white type of situation. There's different perspectives. So, and again, if you want to see all 6 of these articles here, just hit 6, and you can look at these titles. Take the self-driving cars, take the fun out of driving. The government must prepare a plan of action for jobs lost to driverless vehicles. We can use driverless cars as a reason to fix transportation funding problems. Automated vehicle testing information should be made available to the public. The self-driving cars are not as safe as vehicles operated by human drivers. So again, hit the back button, come over to these viewpoints, see what are available over here. We can use driverless cars as a reason to fix transportation funding problems. New regulations will hinder growth of the ride-sharing industry. Automated vehicle testing information should be made available to the public. Self-driving cars are not as safe as vehicles operated by human drivers. Self-driving cars take the fun out of driving. Driverless cars could eliminate road rage. Driverless cars will not solve the problem of road rage. Society must decide how to respond to workers displaced by technology. Sound like some of the ones in the other section. The government must prepare a plan of action for jobs lost to driverless vehicles. So, again, well, maybe it could be that some of these, like I say, not necessarily left versus right, but different perspectives all the way around. There's some statistics here. The statistics are always good. Statistics always give you some facts and power to write a little bit more clearly and use evidence, strong evidence. Let's take a look at jobs threatened by automated vehicles. Let's see what it says here. Bus drivers, transit, intercity, number of total jobs, 168,000. It's a lot. Light truck of delivery services drivers, 826,000. Whoa. Heavy and tractor trailer truck drivers, 1,678,000. That'd be a lot of workers lost. Bus drivers, school or special client, 505,000. Oh, there's even a range here. Maybe that's not a specific number exactly, but range of jobs threatened. And because, for example, if you take a heavy and tractor trailer truck driver away from his job, there might be some other jobs that would be eliminated with it. And so percent of total jobs replaced. That's interesting. Self-employed drivers. Okay, and then some information here. So this is the kind of information, these are the kinds of statistics that you could use to empower your writing. Some other references, some magazine articles, some images, some audio, things you can listen to, news. And this would be good here, news, because you could cite some particular incidences where people have been injured, or there's other particular problems regarding the cars. Some specific examples would also be a good way to empower your writing in one way or the other, whether you're for driverless vehicles or not. And there's some academic journals, videos, websites. There's just all kinds of articles about self-driving cars. And so again, here's the list basically of all of these things, and you have access to those through Utah's online library. So I feel like Utah's online library is just absolutely a wealth of information that you can use to write an argumentative essay. Now remember that when you do write an argumentative essay, you are going to be required to have parenthetical citations, and also the works cited page, at least 3 sources for your works cited page. But the nice thing about these articles is that most of them have an author. If you look down on the bottom especially, you'll notice that Jason Zinnemann is the author of this article. And that helps. And then of course with this information right here, you've got just about everything you need right here to simply plug into your works cited page, and it's already pretty much in proper MLA order and structure, and that really makes a big difference in making it easy for you. Again, all you have to do is make sure that you put in the access date. And you won't put it in like this for MLA. You don't use this word right here, but you do have the date, and that'll be the last thing that you put into this. So you put this date in after this. Put it in about right here, just right after you plug this in. Put in this date, and you've got you followed all the requirements for the works cited format there. Okay. So again, really not too hard to use. Utah's online library, and again, uh, I want you to, this quarter, I'm going to want you to pick a topic that you feel comfortable with, and that you have a strong feeling for. I would really there's so many topics here, students, and I feel like a lot of you are uh, stuck on topics that you had interest in, or read about, or have thought about in the past. I'd like you to avoid those. I don't want anybody writing about abortion or about marijuana, anything to do with marijuana, because those topics are old. Um, I prefer that you find some other topics, find some other interests. There's all kinds of other things that could be focused on for the most part. And so I really want you to take advantage of the options available to you for writing an argumentative essay, and think out of the box a little bit when it comes to those that kind of a decision. Okay. All right. All done. Thank you.